Hi, this is Dr. Beatrice Tembi, and this is my brand new channel. I'm very excited to be here, and I know you will not regret spending time with me. We're going to be dealing with practical and pressing issues of everyday life. Relationships, marriage, the home, your job, societal issues, and we're going to be uploading these videos weekly for a period of time. So I want you to follow me on Facebook on Beatrice Tembi and subscribe to this channel. I can assure you, you will be glad that you're following me. Welcome once again. Let's go to the counselor's desk. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about women, married women, who find it difficult to be submissive to their husbands, to the leading of their husbands, because they consider themselves more spiritual or more gifted or more talented or higher up in the strata in society, and they find it so difficult to be submissive to their husbands. Before I go deep into this topic, I remember one lady, oh may God bless her soul. She made a statement to me and it was very, very touching. She said, well, they're calling me Sister Beatrice. Sister Bea, it is, no, she said, marriage can easily take somebody to hell. Hell? Hell? I said, well, I'm sure you mean hell on earth, so people can live hell on earth as, she said, no, hell. Then I remembered when she was telling me this thing. We had a girl in our church when we were growing up, you know, we loved God, we were singing in the choir, we were in youth group, we were attending all the meetings. This girl was one of the first to get married among the girls. And something happened. She stopped sitting in front of the church. She started sitting behind. In fact, from the first bench where the choir members were sitting to the last bench in the church. We were wondering, you know why she was sitting there every now and then. She will have to go out and, you know, spit out something. And you know what happened? She was pregnant. And then when she had her baby, she would bring the baby to church in a little nice basket, put the baby near her, and while service was going on, she would be playing with her baby. Ooh, you know, and very soon she had a second baby, and now she has the second baby was in the baby's basket, and this first one was still very young. So her life was surrounding around her babies. And her body was in church, but her spirit was not there. Why? She was married. So when she told me this thing, I quickly thought of that girl, and I said, maybe you can have some point here. Then fast forward, many years passed. I got married myself. I saw the challenges you have in marriage life as a woman. And then I started counseling other women, and a woman wrote something to me, asking a question to me. I said, no, I have to answer this thing, not to her alone, but to all of us. Okay? Quickly, let me just read her question, and then I will answer it to the rest of us in this channel. She said, dear counselor, I am supposed to be following the leading of my husband, but I am afraid I am more spiritual than him. I surpass him in so many aspects that I don't see how I can follow his leading. Wow. Go back to my friend's statement. Marriage can lead people to hell. Now, forget about the hell part of it, okay? This woman is definitely saying that, this woman, the counselee, my counselee is definitely saying that she won't obey God. She doesn't see how she can obey God in this aspect of wives be submissive to your husband. She said, no, 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 I can't submit. I can't submit to my husband. I can't please God in this aspect. And if you are not pleasing God in a particular aspect of your life, what are you doing to yourself? Now, when I read this counselee's letter, I laughed. I laughed because there was a particular day in my life I thought I was definitely, without any iota of doubt, I was definitely more spiritually minded than my husband. If you know my husband, he will start laughing at me right now. But that day I thought I was spiritually minded. You know, it was an interesting morning. We had had our morning devotion, and we went back to our rooms. My girls went to the kitchen because I had many girls in my house, in my home at that time. They made breakfast. They brought us to the table, and when we just sat down to the table to eat, they realized that one of the girls, her name is Grace, was not in the kitchen. She was nowhere to be found. So they knocked at her door. Grace, come out. She was not talking. So they opened her door, and she was lying unconscious on the floor. They quickly rushed to us and said, Grace is not responding. All of us abandoned our breakfast, went to her room, and she was, you know, as if unconscious. So we started praying. We were praying and praying, and after a few minutes of prayer, my husband stopped praying, was just looking, trying to say something. I wasn't giving him attention. He left us there and went back to the breakfast table and sat down and was eating his breakfast. So I asked the girls to continue praying. I went to our nearest neighbor. I dashed out of the room. I say went. I literally flew out of the room to our next door neighbor. It was Pastor Kingsley, and told them to come quickly and pray. There's war. Come and do this warfare for me. The wife Vera came first and started praying and telling the other girls, pray aloud. Don't be praying in your throat. This thing needs serious warfare prayers. So I dashed into the room. I passed my husband eating breakfast. I continued his meal. I went to the room to take the car keys and wear something proper to rush Grace to the hospital. On coming out, he was still eating. I said, no, this is too much. I said, what are you doing? A child is dying. We are praying. You are eating. He was with a mouthful of vegetable salad. He was trying to say something like, Grace is all right. Who had time? I just told myself, no, the devil is a liar. My husband will not distract me from warfare. From warfare. So, but when I went to her room, I saw her trying to tell people that no, let them take her nowhere, that she was fine. She stood up, she was weak. She said she was in a trance and angels were operating on her. Because that morning we prayed for her healing. She had a kind of defect. We had been praying for her. So the angels were working on her, and she was just weak. She was fine. Wow. I now came back to the dining table. I sat down, and I was feeling a bit sheepish. And I told my husband that, Grace, why were you not there praying? He said, a few minutes into the prayers, he understood in his spirit. He sensed it. He heard God speaking to his heart that we should leave her. He tried to tell me I was already the prayer guru of the day. I couldn't listen to him. So he had to come back and eat and allow me continue my drama. You see the spirituality that women always talk about. Sister, I know, no, don't be angry. Eh? I will talk to the men. But for now, let me talk to you. This spiritualitometer, or I don't know how to call it, this gauge, I don't know how we gauge spirituality, but our gauge of spirituality may be a bit defective. Okay, it may be a bit defective. So now tell me, who is more spiritual? Remember, you see, I always do like this. Because, you know, what we even call spiritual is not the real thing. But who is more spiritual? A person who can sit quietly and discern the will of God about something. Or a person who is flying up and down, screaming at the top of her voice that she's praying. I mean, motivated by fear. So, you know, I like the way God does things. God just, you know, burst my balloon that day. He just, and I understood so many things, you know, from that. Now, listen. Many of us wives or women, we think that two things, we have two advantages, let me put it that way, over men. And we tend to use these advantages thinking that we are more, or these advantages make us think that we are more spiritual. One, our ability to talk. And two, what people call intuition, which women are, they say we are more blessed with intuition. And I'm going to leave these two things for the next episode, which will come out very soon. Just watch out for it. But before I go, let me read a verse for you, okay? That verse comes from James chapter 3. James chapter 3, verse 10 to 12. Great. The Bible is talking about what it calls the wisdom from above. The Bible says, out of the same mouth proceeds blessings and cursing. Sister, out of the same mouth proceeds blessings and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does the spring send forth fresh water and bitter water at the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olive or grapefruit, or grapevines bear figs? Thus, no spring yields both salt water and fresh water. Now listen, I am deciding to bring this today to let us women, wives, know that because we can talk a lot, and we can use this, our ability to talk, we can use it also in prayers. That does not actually make us more spiritual minded than our husbands. Maybe your husband is that one who is calm, quiet. When it's time for prayers, it maybe prays a few words, and you know, and that's that. But me and you, we can pray one whole night, while he does a few, you know, and then we lie down, we go to bed, and we look at the husband and say, what kind of unspiritual man is this? I thought we were going to pray for hours. You prayed only for 30 minutes and you were sleeping. Let's be careful, because this very mouth that we use to bring out the fresh water, there are many times we use the same mouth to bring out bitter water. Just because we are gifted to talk doesn't necessarily mean that we are more spiritual than them. But then, don't worry. I'm going to give you hints on if truly, factually, you surpass your husbands in many things, maybe financially, maybe age-wise. That one we cannot contest. It's not debatable. It's clear. What do you do in order to be submissive to him, so that you'll be pleasing to God and pleasing to him? I'll be coming in the subsequent edition. So please don't forget to subscribe. Right now, I want you to leave comments. I want to see your, and I assure you I'm going to read your comments, and we are going to discuss on your comments. Okay? God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.